Hey friends, it's Joe from DadBod. My morning hair is immaculate, and today we have a 7-mile run in Tokyo. It's about 5:05 in the morning. We woke up at 4 today, and it's 2.5 degrees Celsius, which is like 36 degrees Fahrenheit. So let me pop you on my head, and we will get to work. Now, I have been having some tweaky hamstring glute issues on my left side. So while we intend, by all intents and purposes, to go 7 miles, today is definitely in the realm of we will see. Let me start this thing. There's definitely enough pain and discomfort that I at least need to be super intentional and mindful, and I had a lot of concern of even coming out at all. So that said, if we get in a good flow state and it's healthy and good, 7 miles, here we come. If things lock up the bad way and we can't seem to walk or run it. Oh, 1 second. Oh. Hey babe, I'm really sorry you feel that way. Yes, that's absolutely okay. I will be back by 7 so I can get the kids fed and off to school. Alright, cool. Felicia needs help. Seven-foot frame rats on your brain. So we're just walking to start things off. There's already some things that don't feel all that great, but hopefully we could warm up into this. Yesterday I tried to train carefully. Same with the day before that. And the day before that, just trying to be very intentional to not mess myself up. I do have a very slight limp. So one of the goals today, just like every day, is gonna be finding good core contraction, good form. So I pop my glove on, we'll see. And also, big thing for today, which is hard, is slow. Everything needs to be slow. Let me hit a deadlift. Squeeze at the top. Hey, though, that's better than the rest of this morning. Core engaged and mellow. And we'll see. Now, from the hamstring issue, where I have the most potential problems is going to be operating my phone with my nose. Where I have the most potential problems is actually anything downhill, just like this, because it's a little bit more challenging to keep my core contracted and to take slower, smaller steps. If I'm really running fast downhill, it's easy for a forward lean to carry. This is money uphill right now. It helps me land correctly, find my stride. But I can already tell I have no idea how far I'm gonna go, how safe this workout will or won't be for me. I'm just perceiving a lot of compromising movements from both sides. Now this happens almost every run, right? So it's a common talk track, and it's hard. It's hard to perceive where to push and where to pull back, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. where to push, where to pull back. Because I don't want to be laid up today. But if possible, I do want to challenge myself a little bit. So let's see. Core. Maybe we just do it in steps, you know, little by little. That's so funny. So many compromising form movements, so let's just step it out. I'm doing like marches, see if I could get some of this worked out. Oh, nice. It's actually a bad spot to do hinges because it's so sloped to the left. Guess I could turn my feet. Oh, there we go. Squeeze at the top. Like this morning, I did all kinds of wonky things. When I got out of bed, I like put resistance bands around my thighs. Just tried walking laterally, left, right, forward, up, down, left, right. It's always up, down, left, right, right? I tried walking differently. I even did it up and down stairs. And what's nice, I really have isolated the issue. I think it's either left IT band, which is, I think, if anything, a little underdeveloped and or overworked, or it's like hamstring to glute. But what I'm finding is I'm having where the discomfort activates the most is if I lay down. It's so funny, I'm like taking time to walk here. And I'm like, oh, if I walk, I'm not gonna finish the workout at all. And I was like, I should just go back. This whole thing's failed. I was like, Joe, so much silly talk, okay? You woke up at 4 a.m. It's only 5:10. This run isn't hosed because you're not locked into perfect form and pace right now like you were last Monday. Because there's definitely some internal comparison. Last Monday was a very, very clean run, which I don't get very often, honestly. So I was like, oh, this is the new Joe. And I was like, no, it just happened to work out well. I'm wiggling my legs a little. Let's do a couple deadlifts. But yeah, I've isolated the discomfort from a lifting perspective, which is really good. So I found out if I lay on my back and I put my feet flat on the ground like I'm gonna go into a glute bridge. Glute bridge is pretty much fine. But if I start to step my feet away from myself and try to push into the ground, once it starts to transfer, once the movement starts to transfer from the glute into the hamstring, oh, I got problems. That's where some discomfort catches. So somewhere the transition between left hamstring and glute and their unspoken interactions is a little wonky, but there's other things now that are compromised that is just causing poor form, discomfort, So I'm just trying to figure out how to walk, how to jog safely. It's funny, earlier I was like, I want to run 4 half marathons this year. I definitely do. But even more important than that, I want to get all these little things ironed out so that I have the ability to run more later in the year, next year. Because I was like, let's register for a marathon. Maybe if I just push up for it. I was like, no. You know how DadBod works. It's like, it's a process. Okay, let's see if we could hop down these. So similar to that hamstring discomfort I was talking about, when the left foot steps down and that load goes into the left leg, that's where I have the most discomfort. So again, it's in the hamstring on the left, but the problem that was happening when I was running earlier is because of that, if I'm trying to go too fast, bringing cardio into it, then I'm kind of favoring it or twisting my hips away from the region instead of kind of warming the region up. At least is what I'm finding. And that's causing discomfort and pain on the other side, closer to low back. So let's try a couple squats while we enjoy some river sounds. Real deep. I'm gonna pause. One of the things I'm speaking over myself is I had both good, slightly delusional, and negative expectations for what this workout was or would be, how it would unfold, what we would accomplish, how fast we would go, what form we would or wouldn't have, how much pain we would or wouldn't have. I buried myself with expectations on what progress for me looked like today, what box I did or didn't check today. You know, and I have to kind of speak over myself right now, like, the fact that I'm up and out here is progress. I can't compare it to last week when I ran a clean 6 miles, which is about 10K. Like, the fact that I'm out here with the discomforts I have, that is still a good thing. And I'm working into it somewhat responsibly. Is it still a little aggressive to be out here? Possibly, but what I was really thinking about doing was just going right back to bed, even though I got adequate rest. And now that's not progress. But coming out here, warring with my body, taking some good steps on my quote-unquote 7-mile long run day, and not injuring myself, but doing good active movement, that is definitely progress. There's no reason I can't repeat this workout next week, right? Like, I don't have a half marathon I'm on schedule for. I'm on literally my body's own schedule. Alright, so that's a little uncomfortable. Let's do some sideways squat walks. So, athletic position, slow. We'll just enjoy some stream sounds. You know, but also I got a text from my wife. She's not feeling well. Slept awful. She tried to get lunches going for the kids, which was super kind for her to do at 5:20 in the morning. And I should just respect that. So that means take today as an opportunity to work into some discomforts. Here's where there's a little bit more discomfort. Reset, rehab things well. Instead of a 2-hour long run, turn it into a 40-minute recovery, jog, walk, stretch, strength thingy. Actually, this is warming into that very well. It's uncomfortable. Let's see if I can walk backwards. Ooh, bird. Oh, a big bird. Spooked you. Snuck up on you. Ooh. So I did a little bit of that training. Now I'm like, I could run. It's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's too eager. Oh, taxi. Hamstring stretch. Oh, very tight. Still tight, but less tight. The thing is, if you start to get too asymmetric with stuff, which I'm very prone to, you start to screw with how everything's tensioned. Symmetry. Oh, it's very important. Okay, I'm gonna try to jog. We'll see though. Nice and mellow. Left glute. See if I could work into it. It's okay to have some discomfort during the workout. Nope. But once your form drifts, you gotta be very careful. So there's some fatigue I'm working through here. I might actually almost be at turn it back point. Like, I'll have time for dynamic stretching. Gozaimasu. But it is beautiful. I love this trail. Oh, what do we do? It's definitely frustrating, friends. And it's okay. Yo, Bailey. Oh, how's it going, bud? Nice to see you. Today we were supposed to do 7 miles. I say supposed to because that was the expectation I had for today, but my hamstring and hip don't have it today, and I would prefer not to injure myself, but I am frustrated with what I thought the day was going to be and where my body is today. You know, there's always a time for the Dave Goggins push. Not the day. Now with my 31-year-old sack of bones. So I'm doing, I think this is my turnaround. I really wanted to make it to the river, but it's just not going for me the way I want. Let's do a couple squats and we'll see. Part of it is like, even my core contraction's not symmetric, which is really concerning actually. Like, I don't want to say paralyzed, but I can't squeeze certain muscles as intended. And there's a vulnerability that comes in that. So I'm doing pause squats right now. That's also uncomfy. One more. Hinge. Do some hinges. Squeeze at the top's a little weird. So I'm just trying to find my way. Maybe I'm supposed to throw my time differently today. All right, I'm gonna try to lock my core. Almost found it. It's like paralyzed. And let's again do laterals. Laterals are really good. So I'm just gonna squat. Now this is what I was doing this morning with a band. And what was nice is it was helping activate certain muscles. So one of the other issues I have with all my issues is I have 2 compressed discs in my back, which means as a runner I am higher risk for injury. That's why I train core and back so much. So I got 2 issues back there, and then I also have sciatica or numbness down the left side of my thigh. And then what's throwing me today is I've had I think the technical term is an inactive glute. And it's something I've been training my whole life. Well, not my whole life, but definitely in early adulthood, like mid-20s, through physical therapy, I started to realize, like, oh, I can't squeeze my butt. And that's something normal people can do. Really interesting. So what I'm working on is learning how to squeeze it while I move. I'm sweating a little bit. I'm still getting something out today. It just wasn't what I planned on. Trust me, I would much rather run than deal with some of the discomforts I have. So even with walking, like right now, every step is a choice. Trying to get my mechanics correct so they don't hurt. Trying to squeeze or tighten the core. Trying to loosen or relax in areas that are a little overactive. That's also where it gets me. If I point my toes towards each other, squat, and then squeeze my thighs together, which is kind of like you do this in skiing, it does kind of isolate some of the left glute issues. So it works into it. But yeah, every once in a while I step just wrong enough, and it's bad. It's like my body's saying, like, what the hell are you doing? Go back to bed. I was like, no, bed's not gonna fix this. I still have to actively engage the journey. Meanwhile, my ego's like, just run fast. Just run fast and be disillusioned that you will somehow have the breathing capacity and the pain tolerance to tell your legs how to move. Just grit right through that sucker and know that you come out stronger. I was like, well, ego, you're an idiot. Clearly you don't understand how bones and muscles work. So the best thing I can do at my own pace out here at 5:20 in the morning or whatever, 5:30 now, is do all the best functional movements I know to trick my body into good posture, good form, and good safe movements home, which means squats, which means deadlifts, which means squeezing at the top, deadlift, squeezing at the top, which means dropping in an athletic position and shuffling sideways, which means sliding farther with core engaged, tailbone tucked, and spinning it. That's the magic right there. Look at that. I love it. fact that this is getting better doesn't mean turn around and go run 7 miles. But it does mean we're doing exactly what challenges our body within safe limits. Try walking backwards. All kinds of issues backwards. Oh, very challenging. Squeeze. Keep the legs behind us, core tight, tailbone tucked. Let's try to walk briskly. Just see if we can walk briskly for a little bit. It's good form. Not run. But what I'm doing is kind of stepping purposefully harder, which is loading that area of discomfort and pulling the glute and hamstring, driving through. If I find a sharp pain, I'll pull back. But if I'm stepping into discomfort, like a sore muscle kind of thing, I am kind of working into it, seeing if I can open it up a little bit. But I am working on keeping core contracted during the movement. And my tailbone tucked. Dry. Today's one of those days. Maybe this runs an indication of it. Where I have absolutely no idea what I should do. It's one of those days where you start off your Monday buried by so many things that you perceive are important, that it's really difficult to actually discern what is essential and what is, ideal. And I think as you grow in experience within different disciplines, engineering, leadership, business, let's do a couple more squats. It's not really level ground. Let's crab walk it. Oh, it's so bad. But as you grow in experience in your career, because I'm about a decade in, it's not really about choosing like what's good and bad. Once you get into like better and best decisions, but it gets even harder. Like that's why I talked about like what's essential and what's ideal. Like there are certain things that just have to happen that are critical, that they're essential. But there's other things that really should be happening too. And that's ideal. The reality is you can't progress everything at 100% all at once. Like things happen in stages. I'm gonna give you a great example. Like for content creation, every year for the last 3 years now, I've made some kind of vision wall. I kind of look at where everything is and I start thinking about, well, where do I want to go? Where do we go from here? What's next? And I process that. And I make some kind of roadmap. Or last year I did skill trees. That was kind of fun. I actually worked my way up a lot of them. This year, I built like a factory called the Content Factory. All right, let's do this with a contracted core. Tell ourselves, even if we didn't run a single mile today, going up this with a tight 4 brace for a kick, driving with the booty is the best thing we could be doing right now. Tight, tight, push. There's definitely instabilities landing and pushing off the left leg, but we're getting it kind of within a safe range of motion. So this week, got to pull back on lifting again. 2 weeks ago, we pulled back on lifting a little bit, gave our body room to recover, had an epic run, lifted hard every day. Ego showed up with a couple weights, and now we're back back at being feeble. So this week's another lightweight week. Nice. Working into it. Very tricky. Anyway, make this content factory vision plan of all the things that could help us become more successful in these spaces. Right. Lay the whole thing out. And immediately, this is what my brain does. It's like, all right, you have the roadmap for an entire year to really build out a family frenzy. How beautiful is that? You know, what a cool vision to be a blessing to our digital community and bring excellence in the digital spaces. To quote my lovely friends from Australia, you know, good on you, mate. And what's my brain do? Oh, there's a plan. Execute the plan. Let's do a year worth of plan in 2 weeks. No. That's why I talk about what's the difference between essential and ideal. What I laid out for the course of the year is close to essential. But as I really get into the nuts and bolts of it and work within the confines of reality and my mixed availability across grad school, having a 4th child, changing jobs within Johnson & Johnson, like as I really work across all those different factors, right? As I do that, not everything on that board is essential. Everything on that board is ideal. And even when I look at this week, everything on there would be ideal. And there's a natural progression, there's a natural order of developing new solutions. That's why. Oh, 1 second. How gozaimasu. That's also why. Let me grab a squat. Where do you? Lateral steps to that pole. It's a long way. Then we're gonna flip and go to the second pole. That's exactly what we need right now. But that's why it's so important this week to look at the board and tell myself, Joe, you're not doing this whole board this week because there are other things across all the contexts you lead that are essential. But is there something on this board right now that is essential? All right, what's the one thing that you really should squeeze in? All right. Oop, no, trying to pull out of it because it's uncomfortable. Come on. This is the leg that needs it. It's the weaker leg. That's why I've done enough physical therapy to know how to do physical therapy. I was like, I know exactly what I need, but I don't want to do it. Let's walk backwards. That's good. Whew. Yeah. So what's essential? Is it setting up affiliate links? No. Is it getting all the badges automated as a video digital asset for people to be able to join your stream? No, because they're not seeing our content. I want to do that because I think it's cool. Is it getting out a video of your 1-year plan? No. I want to do that. All of it's ideal. All of it's cool things I could do if I was a full-time content creator. But the problem is, if I was a full-time content creator, I would have an even larger, deeper list. There's no end to anything, whether it's in your day job, your creative passion. And it will always be easier to throw yourself in a new creative exploration than to sit down and build Legos with your son, right? Or in the case of yesterday, I still thought about doing something. It was Sunday. I was like, you know what? It's a movie marathon time. Put on Mitchell's versus the Machine, which is my new favorite kids movie on Netflix. It's a solid 10 out of 10 in my opinion. It's just it's like the chef's kiss. It's perfection. Put that on, laid out on a pillow, let the kids snuggle, watch that movie, took a mini nap through it. Third kid, baby Emiko, wakes up, snuggles with me through Shrek 2. Yeah, quote unquote burned 3.5 hours. It's not burning hours, it's providing proximity to my kids. It's choosing to say, hey, drawing little badges and emotes and emojis and doing video automations are not essential right now. Being fully present and available to my kids is essential. And who wants to watch a movie with their dad while their dad's doing something else? Right? You can't live your whole life perfectly optimized and multitask. You should scream. Kokujin. Kokujin. No. Well, I'm not going to yell that because I don't know what it means. I do know some Japanese, though. It's a good question. Hi, what's up, Abby? Welcome to this morning's 7-mile run, which has turned into a 1.5-mile struggle walk with various calisthenics and dynamic stretching, because this morning I woke up and my hamstrings and hips said no. So I've been doing lunges, squats. Right now I'm doing some deadlifts. And right now I don't like this. All right, and let's find the next spot to do our side lunges, lateral crawls. I don't know what you call this crap. Okay, so we'll get in an athletic position. But no, I had every aspiration to go 7 miles today. And my body was like, hey, that's a great idea. What if we don't, because it hurts? And Ego Joe would have loved to run through all that discomfort, but I have have this beautiful thing called a brain with logic that was like, hey, cause and effect. You may finish that run, but you will also not come home. You'll be a shell of a man. So instead, we did what I would call a rehab walk. It has been very challenging. I'm still out of breath. There's a lot of things that still don't feel great. I'm gonna try to get home a little early. See if I can get some good stretching in today. Figure out what's going on and reset the week physically. Oh, that looks so far away. Okay, let's lateral lunge it to those. It's gonna suck, but we need it. Oh, I do need to figure out what Kokujin means. Isn't that just Chinese? Would that just be... Maybe that's Chugoku. Chugokujin? I don't know. I know that I'm Gaijin. Gaikokujin. Just means foreigner. Let's do it. So, we're gonna go from this light to that light to the next, but we'll switch. Get down into this athletic position, nice and low, shoulders rolled back, nice and slow. Let's get the most out of it. Control every part of the movement. I'll have you know, even though this is low and slow, the entire thing sucks, which is why it's good. I'm sweating. It's 36 degrees Fahrenheit or 2 degrees Celsius. I haven't really run at all this morning. I'm still sweating, tired, sore, out of breath, which means we found the line. We found the line between ego and progress. That's very, very important. We have a lot to be proud of. People are running for the train. Oh my goodness. Stepped on a very scary leaf. Suck in my core. Part of it. Lower back. Muscles in the lower back are a little tight too. So here's a couple things that aren't moving or firing right. So tomorrow's workout's gonna be really good for us. I think it's gonna be a little messy. That's all right. All this stuff doesn't have to be perfectly clean. But I do gotta figure out what's going on.
And I think part of it is just I gotta make space for the body to recover. All right. Good stream, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.